Okay, and we are live. So far, sorry about that. Gomora is joining me for tonight. So, good evening, everyone. My name is Roque and thank you for attending this live. So, I just want to start off by saying, introducing myself, and I guess Gomora, who's currently suffocating me. So, this is Gomora. She is my 1.5-year-old ball python, and yeah, she's giving me a hard time right now. But hello, thank you everyone for joining me tonight. I am currently live on Instagram, TikTok, and actually, supposedly, YouTube. So the whole kind of point of this live was to go live on YouTube because that is where I'm dedicating majority of my time and focus in terms of content creation. But literally, as I am setting up for this live, it turns out that YouTube requires 24 hours before you are allowed to go live. So that's kind of a bummer. It's a shame because I kind of set up my new camera, hooked it up to this live stream, but because life's not doesn't always go the way that you planned, we are now live on Facebook on my personal channel as well. God damn, Gomorrah, giving me such a hard time. But yeah, thank you so much for attending my live tonight. Like I said, my name is Roque. I also create content on YouTube, on Instagram, and on TikTok. And I'm a vet student, so I'm currently about to enter my fifth year, which is my junior clinician year. So I'm gonna be doing some time in the hospital in UP Los Baños as well. And yeah, like I mentioned, I am a content creator. So wherever you're watching, may it be TikTok, Instagram, or Facebook, make sure to hit that like and subscribe. Subscribe to my YouTube channel as well, and like and follow for all of these other platforms as well. All right, and thank you for joining me today. So the whole purpose of this live stream is to kind of just answer the questions that I've been getting a lot from you guys, whether it be about vet med, about your pets, or just what's it like being a vet student in general. And I decided that I'm gonna go live to kind of answer all of these questions for you guys. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to place it down in the chat, and I'll do my best to get to it eventually. But a couple of weeks back, I did already solicit some questions from you guys, so I guess I'm just gonna start answering it right now. All right. So question number one: what is the hardest course/slash subject in VetMed? So I think this question really depends. The short answer is all of it. But basically, it kind of depends on your different strengths. So for me personally, I tend to have a really hard time with microbiology, and I think that's mainly because you're dealing with topics and organisms that are naked or that you can't see with the naked human eye, right? So it just kind of makes it a little bit harder for me to kind of understand it because obviously I can't see it. And even though there are illustrations to use as reference, it's still really, really difficult. And unlike, unlike animals and humans, wherein we kind of have a general system to how our body works, whether it be your cardiac system or your respiratory system, there's kind and digestive system. There's kind of like baseline systems within the body as to how it works. When on the other hand, microorganisms like bacteria and viruses, that kind of just goes all out the window. So you never really quite understand. Well, it's a little bit harder to understand, I guess, how they function. So my answer would probably be microbiology, whether it's bacterio or virology or immunology. But I do hear a lot of people say anatomy as well. Anatomy is really, really hard, especially because it's one of the first, I guess, keystone subjects or gatekeepers, as we like to call it in UP Los Baños, for VetMed. So, yeah, that's my short answer. Now, for this next question, I'm sure that this was just one of my homies messing with me, but it's a valid question, and it's that can dogs be gay? So, I think in scientific terms, not exactly. Although I do not want to generalize them into a box by saying dogs can or cannot be gay. But I think majority of the time, the reason why people ask this, like bakla ba yung aso ko or whatever, is because generally they see their male dog humping another male dog. But contrary to popular belief, that is actually a sign of dominance. Oh my God, Gomorrah. She's like totally suffocating me right now. I thought it was gonna be a cute idea to bring out Gomorrah for this live stream, but she is like not cooperating whatsoever. Super malikot. She's usually not this malikot, but maybe with all of the lights, that's why. Um, but yeah, so generally speaking, like I don't really think that dogs are innately gay. But when a male dog humps another male dog, or sometimes you can even see female dogs humping another female, that's generally because they're trying to assert their dominance over its fellow packmate. So, dogs tend to have a somewhat primitive, you might call it, social hierarchical system. So when they hump the other dog, they're just trying to like assert dominance in the pack, because they kind of want to be the leaders of the pack. But yeah, obviously a question just to mess with me, but in the grand scheme of things, kind of a valid question as well. And then now for our next question. Have you had the opportunity to work with exotic animals or wildlife? What was that experience like? Well, I mean, exotic animals, we have one right here. This is Gamora. She is my 1.5-year-old ball python. And yeah, exotics is honestly one of the fields of VetMed that I absolutely love working with. As a kid, I can give my whole background story of like watching Steve Irwin, Animal Planet, and all of that. But generally, I love working with unique species. The different types of animals that you don't necessarily see every day, and that they have just always fascinated me. As regards to wildlife per se, um, back when I was doing my internship in New Alabang Vet Clinic, shout out to NAVC, amazing clinic. You guys should check it out, especially if you're in the South area. Um, I was lucky enough to work with Doc Leo Almilor. Shout out to Doc Leo as well, who is one of the best exotic vets in the Philippines. And generally speaking, once you do work with exotic pets, then that kind of just opens your door because of your knowledge base is a lot more broad as regards to species. So it's not just dog and cats or your domestic animals that you tend to get some wildlife patients as well. So I did get to work with a wild reticulated python during my stay there. And recently this summer, I actually got to work with a baby squirrel, one that was living in the Forbes Park area. If excuse me, if you've ever been to Forbes Park, you just see a bunch of squirrels like around the area. And there was this one baby squirrel that was kind of a rescue ish. Well, basically, my family friend's dog just ended up picking up this baby squirrel, and obviously the family had no idea what to do with it. So I came over, kind of just gave it like a basic first aid, but thankfully the squirrel was quite healthy and was able to recover and eventually release. So that those are one of the better stories that you have with working in the animal profession. All right. Oh, do you guys hear that? She's kind of like squeaking. Interesting. But she's not mad. She's super chill. She's actually very curious. So when you see snakes flick out their tongue, that actually means that they're trying to get a sense of, or they're curious as to what's around their surroundings. So despite snakes having many holes, like especially pythons around their face, those aren't in fact not noses. They do have two noses up top, but they actually don't use it for smell. So they have a special gland on the roof of their mouth. Totally blanking out on what that gland is called, but basically, when they flick out their tongue, they kind of get information, and then when they bring it back in, whatever particles or um, whatever like they get with their tongue, um, they basically press it against their the top palate, the hard palate, and with that gland they get their information as to what's around them, whether it be food, um, change in environment. But yeah, little fun fact about ball pythons. All right, next. I guess for everybody that just joined here today, what's up, guys? My name is Roque. I'm an incoming fifth year vet student in UP Los Baños. And the purpose of this live is pretty much to answer all of your questions regarding your pets or vet med in general. So if you guys have any questions, make sure to put it down in the uh, I guess, comment section down below. So I'm currently live on Instagram at roquebanzon, TikTok at roquebanzon as well, and Facebook now at roquebanzon if you are my friend. But I believe that this live should be public. All right. Now moving forward to the next question. Well, let me just see who's in this live. So, hey guys, I saw that Annika Carlos was here for a bit. Hey, Anix. Brianna saying that Gamora is really stressing me out. Honestly, hard same. She is generally like more often than not like this. She's pretty chill, but today just decided not to be chill. And on Facebook as well. All right, no comments as yet, but as I said, feel free to put your comments down below or questions if you have any regarding VetMed, and I'll make sure to get around to answering it for you guys. Okay, so next question. If my memory sucks, will I make it as a veterinarian? So I would like to believe that, you know, VetMed is, yeah, it's very difficult, and there's a lot of things and skills that you need to be good at. But I don't think the memory is the end all be all for determining your success as a vet, because basically memory certainly helps, especially at the start of your vet med journey, because all of the classes are very memorization heavy, like anatomy, even the first couple of microbiology, microanatomy. But as you get higher in the year levels, it actually kind of shifts into a more analytical brain. So basically, like knowing all of the symptoms that I know now, how can I properly diagnose it? So using all of your previous classes, like um, anatomy, microbiology, pathology, physiology, pharmacology. Not really pharmacology yet, but you get my understanding. It becomes more of a holistic approach as to answering what might be the diagnosis. So the short answer is, if your memory sucks, then I still do believe that you have a shot to make it as a vet. Next question. This is another one of a good friends na ginagago lang ako dito. Pero tunay po bang doctor ang vet med? Valid question. I mean, short answer is yes. We are real doctors. But let me explain. Because generally what vets do is we do the same things that any other physician does. So we need to do your physical exam, get a little bit of history. When was the onset of these symptoms? What are the symptoms like? Is it like shallow breathing? Is it an open wound? And then um, kind of just like go through your routine diagnostic tests like blood tests, x-rays, and all of that, and then piece it all together to come up with a differential list of diagnosis, or the possible list of um, diseases that your pet might be suffering from. And then from there, you lead to treatment. So it's basically exactly what a human doctor does. The biggest difference is that we don't get to um, talk to our patients. Like, we can't ask them, "San ba masakit?" When did you start feeling feverish? Obviously, because we're kind of just relying on the information that's being given from the owner. But in a nutshell, yes, tunay po, tunay po ang doctor ng VetMed. All right. And for the next question, are there any specific species or breeds you feel particularly knowledgeable about? All right. So I guess starting off would definitely be dogs, not only because this is the main species that is kind of like our base species. Dogs and cats are like our base species for VetMed. So we kind of start with dog and cats, and then from there, we kind of branch off into the different domestic animals like your chicken, your pigs, your cows. And I've also had dogs pretty much my entire life. So I would definitely say that dogs would be um, the species that I'm like most familiar about. Next would probably be cats, and also like recently our family just became a cat fam. So currently we have 3 cats, and yeah, they're a handful too, but lovely in their own way. So dogs and cats for sure, and then from there actually, even though we are taught like I'll talk about the other domestic animals like your pigs, your sheep, your cows, your horses, your chickens. I would say that probably the exotics that I currently have. So, ball pythons. I would like to say that I do know a decent amount about um, their anatomy, their husbandry, how to properly keep one, and some of the common diseases that they might face. So, and the same would probably go for Hobie, my bearded dragon, who is currently in his enclosure over there, but it's nighttime and they are actually daytime animals, while Gamora is crepuscular, which is just a fancy word for saying they're most active during dawn and dusk, not really cut dry like day and night like my bearded dragon. But yeah, ball pythons, bearded dragons, and leopard geckos, I would definitely say are the species that I'm most like comfortable and knowledgeable about. All right. So next, I guess for everybody that just tuned in, what's up, guys? I'm Roque, fifth year vet student at UP Los Baños. And yeah, this live is basically just answering all of your common questions about animals, about vet med in general. So thank you for joining today. And if you guys have any more questions, put it down below, whether it be in the comment section or the live chat. All right, so I just want to I just want to see who's with us right now. So Kai joined for a bit. Hey Kai, hi to Gamora. She probably says hi. See, thank God she finally chilled out. Paco, Neri, what's up, brother? Thank you for joining my live. If you have any questions about dogs or vet med, feel free to put them down below. On TikTok naman. Oh, by the way, guys, I am on live on three platforms right now: Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. And Facebook gets this fancy camera mainly because it was supposed to be for YouTube. But long story short, we couldn't do it on YouTube, so I'm live on Facebook as well. So, um, Mikey says you have the beauty filter on, Ata. Do I? Man, I feel like such a boomer right now. I do not know how to. Do I have the blue beauty filter on? Sorry, this is like so. I don't think so. Maybe not. I don't think so. She playing. Shout out to Mikey. And on Facebook, is anybody joining us right now? Um, yeah, I mean we've had 12 viewers. I don't know how many we have now. Not gonna lie, this is my first time going live on Facebook, but no comments quite yet. So yeah, we shall proceed. Um, Next question. This is from another brother of mine. Shout out to Meg Savadera. Hi, ano po yung mechanism ng pag-infect ng paramyxovirus? Okay, well, this is super, super specific. So if you're not a vet student or vet or med student, this is probably information overload for you guys. But basically, paramyxovirus is an RNA virus. So you have your two types of RNA. Generally speaking, don't call me out on the specifics, but they could either be DNA, like what us humans have, or RNA, which is like a single strand. And for paramyxovirus specifically, one of the common diseases that you might see, at least in vet med, are your canine distemper. So that's one of the um, diseases that you get with your 5-in-1 vaccine, and it's a very, very lethal disease. It's technically untreatable. It's manageable, but like there's no actual definitive cure for it. Which is why it's really important to get your pets vaccinated. But just so you guys understand, basically canine distemper or distemper virus is transmitted via aerosols. So the respiratory secretions that come out from the nose and the mouth. And from there, if it enters your dog, then it goes to the lymph nodes, which causes viremia, which is basically the presence of the virus in the blood. And then it goes back to the respiratory tract where it transmits to the other viruses as well. And for I mean, this is kind of just like a like special note for the vet um, students or veterinarians, but it's also can be transplanted transplacentally or neonatal. And your basic clinical signs of canine distemper is your fever, your your dry cough, and then also CNS signs. So anything to do with like neuroscience, depression, lethargy, or also symptoms. And but then the number one like kind parang I guess um, gold standard diagnosis for canine distemper is hyperkeratosis. So typically, you know what a dog's nose look like. It's generally quite moist, right? Like it's moist, and then it's very black, like pigmented. But when the dog has distemper, so together with the other symptoms I mentioned, like fever, lethargy, dry cough, and you see that the nose has like gotten a little brittle, almost look like You know what dried up mud looks like? It has like cracks and stuff. That's hyperkeratosis, and together with all of those other symptoms, it's almost sure ball na ano na canine distemper yon. So yeah, fun facts and some ways that you can prevent it is that you can vaccinate your dogs. So it's like I know it's kind of like broken record whenever you hear vets and vet students say like vaccinate your dogs is the best way, prevention is the best treatment. But swear guys, it really is naman talaga. Like in the grand scheme of things, like what is really like 1,000 pesos for your dog when in fact if your dog gets sick with any of the five, right? Like five that's why it's five in one. It can be absolutely lethal for your pet. So I mean honestly it's really just best to vaccinate them to just, you know, prevent the spread. All right. So, on to my next question. This is from Miguel Herrera, who is actually here. What's up, Miguel? Um, Thank you for joining. That snake is huge. Not even full size yet. So, gonna get a little bit bigger. Hopefully, it gets a little bit chunkier. Um, but yeah, this is your question. Do your patients ever try to hit on you? I mean, bro, look at this face. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, when you're talking about our patients, I mean, we're talking about like the dogs and animals, right? Like the, because those are our patients. We have clients, which are the owners of the patients. But yeah, I mean, long story short, no, they do not try to hit on me. They could try to hit me, which is a totally different thing. Um, but yeah, like nah, the patients do not ever try to hit on you. I mean, if you count them humping my leg as hitting on you, then I guess maybe. But yeah, thanks for the question, I guess. um, all right, next question. What are some of the common health issues you see in small animals versus large animals? Well, okay, good question. I think this question is a little bit vague though, so I'm gonna simplify it a little bit. So maybe we can simplify like large animals being like your cows, your pigs, your horses, and then your small animals could be your dogs and cats. So, in a nutshell, so large animals, you generally see a lot of bacterial and parasitic infections, mainly because you're housing them outdoors. They're kind of exposed to the elements and a lot easier to transmit different bacteria and parasites, even from like the birds that are around. So yeah, I would say bacterial and parasitic infections. Now, for small animals, then you also have your hereditary complications, which can be found due to inbreeding. So, for example, I guess would be like um, smaller breeds like your Chihuahuas, your French Bulldogs. They are prone to tracheal collapse. These are for dogs, by the way. And for your larger breeds of dogs, like maybe your Great Danes, your German Shepherds, they are more prone to GDV, which is basically gastric dilation and volvulus. Very, very complex word, but in a nutshell, it's when your dog eats too fast because their thoracic cavity is so large. Um, while the food is moving through, well, sorry to make this so graphic, but while the food is basically moving through the digestive tract, because of a lot of the space provided by the thoracic cavity, if they eat too fast, it can actually cause the stomach to turn and create torsion, and that's the gastric dilation. That's the volvulus aspect of the GDV, and because it is twisted around, then the whatever, whether it's the stomach or somewhere else down the digestive tract, but it's typically your stomach. Because of the torsion, it tends to get inflamed and dilates, and there's like a lot of gas. And if the only treatment for that is surgical um, fixing, so it actually is an emergency. So if you feel like your dog ate really really fast, and after that there's a lot of onset of other clinical signs, then it's best to get your pet to the vet ASAP so that you can have that complication fixed. All right. So, for everyone that is joining me here tonight, what's up again? If you guys don't know me, my name is Roque. I am a incoming fifth year vet student at UP Los Baños, and basically this live is a vet med live Q&A. So whatever questions that you have about your pets or your animals, feel free to put it down in the chat section below so that I can go and address it. All right, let's see who's here today. All right, what's up, guys? I don't know who's still here, but Gabby Tan, what's up? Mas guapo ka, pare. Uh, Thank you for joining. I saw that Landell was here for a bit. Meg, hey. Now I'm also on TikTok, guys. By the way, so TikTok at Roquebanzon, and I'm also live streaming on Instagram at Roquebanzon and on Facebook at Roquebanzon. I was supposed to be on YouTube, because that is basically the main platform that I like to um, dedicate majority of my content creation side to. But long story short, couldn't work out on YouTube, so I'm on Facebook now. So what's up, guys? All right. Tito Robbie, hey, what's up? Welcome to my TikTok live. And let's see if there's anybody else on Facebook right now. Um, Hey, what's up, Ryan? Ryan, I don't know if he's still here. What's up, Ryan? Ryan Rosella. Make sure to check out his YouTube channel. Makes amazing content on Filipino pop culture, and he's honestly one of the reasons why I started my YouTube journey in the first place. So, really, really excellent content. Make sure to check it out at Ryan Rambles or Ryan Rosella on YouTube. So we also have Kinito, my cousin here. What's up, Q? My mental health disease ba para sa mga aso? Actually, meron. That's a valid question. So dogs can actually get depressed. Really, really tragic story. Not gonna share the whole thing in detail, but basically had a cousin who adopted a dog who lived a really, really good life with a beautiful family. But unfortunately, the family had to migrate to another country, and because of that, um, the dog had to be given away to another friend, and then that friend in the long run couldn't also take care of the dog, so they had to give him to another person. And basically, until the day that the dog died, they actually had serious that dog actually had serious mental health issues. So yes, in fact, your dogs and cats can get mental health disease. I don't know so much about these reptiles, but yeah, just a fun fact for you guys. All right, and Ryan actually also asked a question, so I'm gonna address that right now. Any tips for saving money as a pet parent? I realized recently that I've been kind of spending way more by buying meds from the vet instead of buying online. Okay, so very, very valid question. Um, I think the best way to kind of budget everything as a pet parent is number one, kind of have a spreadsheet of your monthly expenses, whether it be your food, the food that you need to give, your pee pads if you guys have around the house. That is something that you need to take into account. And another thing is to schedule also your yearly. I mean, better honestly biannual vet visits just to make sure everything's in check, but your biannual vet visits, and to have them vaccinated, because once they are vaccinated, it not only makes your dog's life a lot better, but it also gives you that relief knowing that you have a better chance of protection against the major diseases like rabies, like canine distemper, like I mentioned earlier, and all of that with that protection. And as to as regards to, sorry, hold on, had a little burp. Damn, can't cut that. Can't cut those off at your lives. Um, but if you're buying meds from the vet, honestly, it's really going to have a little bit of a price surge, because that's just how the clinic makes money. And no, they're not trying to rip off your pets. They just need to be able to keep the lights on and pay everyone. So it really is going to be a little bit more expensive. There are just some meds that you cannot get online, even though there are some loopholes to it. I wouldn't advise it because, there's a saying, medicine is honestly poison. It's just choosing specific poison to kill out certain diseases and to fix things. So anything on surplus or if the wrong circumstances can be very, very harmful for your dog. So I would not recommend buying meds online. Although, yung mga vitamins, yung mga Himalayan uh, joint supplement, go lang. If you can buy it online, then by all means. All right. And then last question here from Facebook. Mananalo po ba ang San Francisco Giants? From Gino Tantuico. Not animal related, but I am a Giants fan, and unfortunately, I do not see that happening. All right. So, again, if you are just tuning in, my name is Roque Banzon. I am a vet student, incoming fifth year at UPLB, and I'm also a content creator. I am currently live on Instagram. What's up, guys? TikTok, Yo, and Facebook. But my main focus is actually YouTube, where I make amazing content on different wildlife, pet care tips, vet med vlogs, and all of that. So make sure to check out at Roque's Modern Life on YouTube. So yeah, going back to the pre-solicited questions, I don't know if is my audio okay on you on Facebook. I'm actually have no idea. Cannot really see from this display, but hope you guys can hear me. But yeah, moving on to the next question: how to ace med major subjects? I am honestly the wrong person to be asking. I have not gotten a single uno for any of my major subjects, but I have made it to fifth year without getting delayed, which is honestly, it sounds like dapat lang you shouldn't get delayed, but bro, in UPLB, everybody just gets delayed and it's just wild out there. So I can kind of give my 2 cents on acing subjects. Parenthesis. I've gotten top exams, but that's about it. I've not gotten an ace in my final grade. But basically, you just gotta work ahead. As much as it sucks, you do have to work ahead. You gotta prioritize certain subjects and topics because they are not all made equally, and not only in terms of how you're going to be examined, but even how they work for you. So this might be a basic, super basic topic or concept for one student, but it might be especially challenging for you. So, kind of knowing your strengths and your weaknesses is very, very important. And yeah, I guess I made an entire video on vet med tips, honestly, somewhere on my YouTube channel. So make sure to check that out, guys. YouTube at Roque's Modern Life. But there's no cut and clear way to really ace and succeed. Everybody's different. But what I personally use is active recall. Active recall for me is next level stuff. It just works wonders. But you do also need to do other types of subjects. I'm getting ahead of myself. Just watch one of my videos. I made like an entire video about how I personally study. So make sure to check that out on Rocket's Modern Life on YouTube. All right. How do you handle cases of animal neglect or abuse that come to your attention? Ooh, okay. That's a little bit of a heavy question. Um, well, personally, I haven't really experienced a direct case like a personal experience with an animal that has been abused, but sometimes you do see animals that are neglected, and the sad part is oftentimes the owners of these pets do not intend to neglect this animal. They don't intend to harm it in any other way. It's just that they weren't educated enough on their proper care. Um, but basically that's pretty much how I handle it as well. Like I kind of just address the conditions that the pet has, try to understand why and where this um, disease might have come from, and kind of just educate the owner on a the current outlook of the status of the pet, because you do need to be transparent. You do need to tell them whether the outlook or the prognosis is good or bad, and you also do need to educate them on why it happened. Like oftentimes I mean the pets don't have full control over like their life and the situation that they're living in, so oftentimes it is the owner's responsibility. So trying to kind of package that in a way where they don't feel so bad about it, kind of just explaining, okay, so this is what happened, and this the reason why this happened was because of this and that, but maybe next time you need to take this into account, because like this or like that. So kind of just being compassionate pa rin to the client, I think, is really, really important. I'm not a vet yet, so there's a lot of for me to learn in general. But that would be, I guess, how I handle cases of animal neglect or abuse. Haven't seen an abuse yet, and hoping to never have to deal with one. Okay, so this next question is from a good friend of mine. Shout out to William Turtle Tan. I think he just asked this question to spice up the pot, but Araneta or UPLB, which is better to study vet med? All right, I'll just end that live just like that. No, no. But I think both schools are very good. Both schools have been around for a while and have produced amazing veterinarians. But I think generally speaking, both schools are fantastic, but it's what you do with a degree. Because honestly, vet school will give you like the baseline knowledge for everything, which is kind of one of the flaws that I have with vet med, because I feel like towards the end of your vet school life, you should be kind of like dialing down in a certain species or a certain industry. But currently, as vet school in the Philippines is constructed, you kind of just have to cover all. So, um, yeah, back to what I was saying, Araneta or UPLB. I feel like it really depends on what you do with that degree afterwards. So a lot of the experience that you do gain comes after you graduate. So when you finally pick a certain field that you wanna take up and you start getting experience in that, it's what you do with it, right? So based off the baseline knowledge that your university has given you, how do you get better as a vet? So kind of just like beating around the bush with that question, but I mean, I feel like the whole question in general had malice content intent. So yeah. All right. So gonna take a quick break. By saying hello to you guys. What's up, guys? I am currently I'll say hello for all of the random swipers that joined. My name is Roque. I'm in an incoming fifth year vet student at UP Los Baños, and I create content as well. I'm currently live on Instagram at roquebanzon, TikTok at roquebanzon, and Facebook as well. Supposedly YouTube, majority of my content is on YouTube, so make sure to check it out at Roque's Modern Life on YouTube. Now I'll just say hello to some of the people that have joined. Wow, a lot of people. Sorry, I might have missed some of the waves, but hello, Migs Diaz. I don't know if you're still here. What's up, my brother? Nice to see you here. Thank you for joining the live. Now on TikTok naman, anybody here? Thank you, Ria, for sending confetti. Yeah, nice to see you live as well to the Robbie. Um, who else? Well, Mikey still claims that I have the beauty filter, but I don't believe it. And back to Facebook. So I am live on three platforms nga pala, guys. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe. All right. Who else? Okay, from John Armand Valdivieso, my boss. Congrats to Live Tall. Any projects you're currently working on that we should be looking on lookout for? Well, but I mean, like I kind of like doing a lot of things aside from vet med, for better or for worse. So, like I said, I do create content as you are seeing right now, but I am also trying to work on some other side hustles. But specifically for you, audience, what you guys should look out for. I'm going to dial down a little bit more on like some of my vet med life, some vet med tips. You're gonna try to feature certain vets, so like day in the life of a poultry vet or a small animal vet. Hopefully, those videos will come around this year. And yeah, a lot of exciting things for the Roque's Modern Life channel. So make sure to check that out at Roque's Modern Life on YouTube. Ting de los Santos, hello sir, hi. And then Mikey, wow, the camera quality. Yeah, I know, sayang, no? Would have been perfect for YouTube, but um, my Facebook friends are blessed with this beautiful quality and this beautiful face. Charot. All right, so Tita Bambi, mental illness in animals. I saw an elephant in India that exhibited signs of stimming, which led me to believe it could be possibly be autism. What do you think? I actually do believe that, especially with elephants that are incredibly intelligent animals. I mean, I read this entire book called Beyond Words, which is basically this writer that spent a lot of time with different wildlife, namely elephants, wolves, dolphins, orcas, and kind of just try to understand how their social hierarchy, how their minds work, and wow, elephants are so intelligent, and I do believe that they could have autism. I mean, elephants for sure do get depressed. I mean, there have been cases of an elephant that was shot dead in Africa by a hunter, and then eventually that hunter died. I think one of the other elephants killed it as well. And just to show you how smart these animals are, the entire herd went to that dead hunter's funeral and started stomping on the casket. I mean, how would they even remember who this hunter was in a casket? But then that's just how sensitive their noses are. And huh, sorry, hold on. I just got live visibility restricted on TikTok because it may contain potentially distressing material. It's just a ball python. Damn, bruh. Sorry, guys. This is some live. Um, the notice is unclear. I do not know why I have the. Yeah, it's my pet. Weird. Anyway, I don't even know if I'm still live. Let me know if I'm still live on TikTok, guys. But yeah, weird. Anyway, but yeah, I do think that elephants could have autism. Long story short. Another comment by Mikey Ataida. I think UPLB has more options when it comes to learning because I know Araneta is mainly on small animals. Um, that is somewhat true, but I mean, not also. They do cover your large animals and your farm animals, so I'm not sure as to what extent they do teach it, but yeah, just gonna stay neutral with regards to that question. John Armand Valdivesa says UPLB is the best. Sorry, I don't make the rules. I mean, that's all I say, bro. That's all I'll say. Maayong gabi, maayong gabi, Nikki from Mindanao. But yeah, anyway, so I'm gonna go back to the questions. Getting so distracted from everybody. But thank you so much for joining me. If you guys have any more questions, place it down in the comment section below so I can get back to it. But right now, I'm gonna head back to my pre-solicited questions. And yeah, what preventive care measures do you emphasize most to pet owners? I did mention this earlier in this live, but I would generally emphasize most on prevention. It's really the best treatment overall. So, getting your pet vaccinated, um, giving the anti-deworming and anti-ticks, really important. Also knowing your environment where you're in. Is the animal exposed to a lot of different animals like strays, or is it um, is it generally in a safe spot? So yeah, um, prevention is the best treatment. So get your dogs vaccinated, have them dewormed, detick, because honestly, the vaccines like work wonders nowadays, and it would be a huge blow not only to your pet but also to your bank account if that pet were to get infected. So you're just saving yourself and your pet a lot of hassle and trauma. So yeah, get your pets vaccinated. Next, which animal disease or conditions do you find most fascinating and why? Hmm. Honestly, it's something that I don't even know that much about. I'm not that knowledgeable about it, but prions are absolutely fascinating. So prions are kind of like viruses, but not. It's so confusing. They generally occur mostly in deers in North America, and there is absolutely no cure over it. And basically, once a deer does get infected, they essentially turn into like a zombie. Like the deer is not even alive because like the prions have just like fully taken over, and they're highly contagious. And the strange thing is that um, researchers do not understand much about the entire species in general. So I just find it very fascinating. Why? Um, I've tried doing like some late night searches on prions, and there's no like definite answer as to why they can't understand it and why they can't control it. But I guess that's why it fascinates me because it also scares me to death. But yeah. Now, next question. Any advice for people who wanna take it? I would assume vetmed, who wanna take vetmed but is too tired from their first degree. Valid question. So, for those of you guys who didn't know, I actually went straight to vet med after finishing my first degree, which was sports science in UP Diliman. And I was lucky slash unlucky because it was during the pandemic, so I didn't really feel tired, I guess, because I was eager to do something with my time, eager to learn. Um, but yeah, any advice for people who want to take it but is too tired? If you really think that this is what you want, then you should do it. You should go for it, because but then but that's with the caveat of like if this is really what you want, because oftentimes people think that, oh, vet med, you're probably like this with animals all the time, you're probably playing with dogs and kittens, but let me tell you simply, it's not that the case. And for me, actually entering vet med, I honestly knew that syempre I would need to be able to treat animals, be able to prescribe certain medications, but I actually entered thinking with a little bit more of a bio mindset. So kind of like what you cover in physiology and pathology. That one was all expected, but then wow, grabe, like you need to be like the bottom line is when you are a vet, it is to be able to treat the animals or even the people if you end up serving in public health. So yeah, you need to really be ready for it. It's not necessarily going to be studying and learning about the animals, but you're studying a lot of drugs, lots of different mechanisms, and lots of other different species. Like, I mean, like I mentioned, microbiology. You're studying viruses and bacteria, and they mention like the animals, like your sheeps and your dogs, and obviously some anatomical parts. But damn, that's like a lot of learning. So, and here in the Philippines, it's 6 years. So you better be ready to do the 6 years, and that's 6 years best case scenario. I mean, a lot of my good friends have unfortunately gotten delayed, and it's really, really a grind. Like every year, I think I'm gonna get kicked out of vet school. Let's just put it that way. It's just that hard. So yeah, if you're ready for that, then I say do it, because for me personally, I've always wanted to live a life working with animals, getting paid to work with animals. I mean, that has been my lifelong dream. And I thought that being a vet was the best way to get paid for it. And um, honestly, like, I don't see myself doing anything else, like, other than working with animals. So for me, it was totally worth it. All right. Thanks for that awesome question. Now, back to you guys. What's up, guys? Again, if you're just tuning in, my name is Roque, incoming fifth year vet student. And today I'm just answering all of your questions about VetMed and about your animals. And I'm currently live on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. Dapat YouTube, because generally I create most of my content on YouTube, but for complication reasons, I was not able to go live on YouTube. But hello, Facebook friends. Thank you for joining me tonight. Okay, so speaking, since I addressed the Facebook peeps, let's answer some of their questions. Pa-shout out po, of course. Shout out to Doc Royd Masaso, one of the smartest poultry vets in the Philippines. What's up, doll? Thank you for joining my live tonight. Um, Mikey Ataides says hello to Nikki Chang. Hello, cutest girl in LB. Herbert's, not mine. Um, all right, and then on Instagram, who is joining us today? So a lot of people in and out. Sorry guys, was not able to wave back at you kagad, but thank you for joining my live while you could. And we have here Rock is my idol. You're my idol, Mike. Thank you for joining. Ang cute naman ng vet student nito. Mas cute ka ba? That was Martin Diaz, my cousin. If you guys are into basketball and lifestyle content, make sure to check out at Martin Diaz on TikTok and Instagram. Good stuff yan. Si Zesty Hooper yan. Nah, joke lang. But real talk, makes great stuff. So shout out to my cousin Martin. Oh, I did see a question here on TikTok a while back before it started acting up on me. So let's try to address that right now. Howdy Roque, big fan since day one. Oh, thanks, man. Um, in my certain best province, we don't have a lot of vets. Um, any tips on how to convince my lower batches to pursue VetMed? Good question, actually. Um, so I feel like, and this is my personal take, and I do have like some data to back it up, but I do feel like now is like the perfect time to become a vet. And hear me out. So obviously, when you search generally in the news, you're gonna see like, oh, vets have like the highest depression rates, and oh, vets are like severely underpaid. But let's just put it this way: in the U.S. alone, because this is the statistic I have, but like in the Philippines, we kind of emulate the same trend. But in the U.S. alone, before 2020, before the pandemic, the I don't remember the exact number, but let's just say the pet industry was at like $10 billion. Okay, $10 billion before the pandemic, and at 2023, because this is when I saw the story, or the article, the pet industry was at like 90 something $1 billion. So in a 3 year span, the industry just extremely boomed. And I think that's because in the pandemic, obviously, everybody was taking care of pets because you weren't allowed to go outside. And generally, I would like to say that the younger generations are a little bit more empathetic towards animals, which is a fantastic thing. I do believe that um, we could learn a thing or two by being a little bit more empathetic to our not so conventional creatures like Gamara over here. So yeah, the demand for vets is steadily rising, and so has the income as well. I mean, of course, inflation is played into account, but um, I know as early as like 15 years ago, the starting salary for a vet in the Philippines was something like 25,000 pesos a month, which is insane. Imagine you go through 6 years of vet school only to graduate with 25K, which is like a starting salary for a normal corporate job. But yeah, now I think the starting salary is somewhere around 35. So that's pretty good. I mean, it's steadily increasing. So if um, if your province needs more vets, then kind of just show them that it's actually a logical choice to be a vet nowadays, especially with the pandemic. You can, if you're even into like a little bit more of public health, you can still be a public health servant by being a vet, being an epidemiologist or food work in BAI, FDA. You know, there's and that's the thing with vet med. It's not even restricted to just your dogs and cats or your wildlife and exotics, but they're literally everywhere. I mean, everywhere from the food industry, obviously. You even have vets in pharmacology, so research. And where do you think that people develop all of the medicines for humans? Obviously, it starts with animal testing, for better or for worse. There are lab animal veterinarians, which is a huge industry. I mean, if that's honestly one of the industries that could get your entire family out of poverty because of how much they pay you. It's not an easy job, certainly. Probably um, one of the hardest fields in vetmed. But yeah, I mean, the future is looking quite bright right now for the veterinary industry. So I feel like now would be one of the perfect times to capitalize on it. All right, and next question: how do you deal with stress? All right, very, very um, valid question. Still haven't fully figured it out. I think one of the short answers, is that um, you can't really truly evade stress, but you can learn how to manage it a little bit. So personally, what I like to do is I like to work out. I like to go for a run or hit the gym because physiologically that does release endorphins, and that just makes you feel a little less depresso from all of the vet med struggles that you face. So that's really, really helpful. I also like to talk to people that are kind of facing the same thing that I am. Kind of just let out all of our rage, all of our frustrations with one another. It just makes you feel like you're not alone in this. And yeah, just making sure to take care of yourself too. Um, take like a hot shower. Um, I don't know, go for a mental health walk, or even just like if you have the time, kick back and um, just relax a little bit, right? All right, so I'll go acknowledge you guys again. What's up, guys? My name is Roque. I am an incoming fifth year vet student in UP Los Baños, and I'm also a content creator. So, the whole reason why I put up this live is so that I can answer your questions regarding VetMed or your animals. And I'm currently live on three platforms right now. We have Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. But I spend most of my time in my content creating on YouTube, generally because I just love creating stories and videos for you guys and answering specific questions. So yeah, you can check out my YouTube at Roque's Modern Life, and hopefully, if Facebook gives me a copy of this, I can upload this on Facebook as well. All right, so let's see who is on my platforms just to say hi to you guys. Para naman notice naman kayo. Hey guys, hey Titarika. Hi Sablay, so proud of you. Thank you for convincing people to be vets. Thank you. I mean, yeah, we definitely need more vets in the industry, and I'm just glad that I'm not the only one that feels that way. Si Leon, si Mr. Emilio Daez, what's up, brother? Um, Thank you so much for checking out my live stream. It's the first time I'm doing a live stream, so I'm not really sure how this works. I actually got flagged on Instagram na nga na parang no, flagged on TikTok, sorry, Instagram. I got flagged on TikTok because like I was showing distressing images now, but it's really just my baby. This is Gamora. She's my ball python. If you guys just joined, um, but yeah, um, what else on Instagram? We do see some other questions. I chose vet med right now at UPLB. I'm scared. I saw last year 900 people who took the examination for vet and only 60 people passed. Yeah, I mean, that's just the elephant in the room. Last year, the board certifications did not really pan out very well, but I think there's something to be optimistic about because number one, it was historical lows. So I do feel like the 2023 board exam was an anomaly. Um, Whether it was in the checking or for one reason or another, I don't want to make sira anyone here, but I feel like it was an anomaly, generally speaking, in UPLB when, in terms of the number of people that are from UPLB that took the board exam, we generally range around 90 or 95%. So last year, when it was 30%, it was like, whoa, really alarming. And not to say that UPLB is like the best, but I mean, it was record breaking low. I mean, only 9% out of the entire test takers that took the veterinary board exam passed. So pretty crazy, but I do believe that the outlook is going to be better. So I wouldn't be so worried about it, bro. All right, Titeria, hello. I hope you are insured. I am insured, but you don't have to worry about this one. She is a ball python. She is non-venomous. She has never bitten me ever in my entire time keeping her, and she's just an absolute sweetheart. Right, baby? Right? Yeah, very chill. Sometimes I spend hours with her around my neck, but at the start of the live, she was like trying to kill me, so that was fun. Um, so another one from Deron Wayne, bro. How do you always stay fresh at school? I don't think you've smelt me yet, kasi. No, but I don't feel fresh. That's certainly not the case. I mean, I guess ever since I moved to Los Baños mismo, I was able to shower a little bit more, and I just try to stay in aircon as much as possible kasi ang init talaga doon. But I am not always fresh in school, but appreciate that. Any other questions? Hi, how do you think AI will shape the future of veterinary medicine? That is a good question. Hmm. I actually have not thought about it so much. I mean, my interests are a little bit more in um, wildlife, but I guess I could apply it as well for like dog and cats. I think what would be amazing is imagine if you have like an X-ray and it's able to identify the anomalies and kind of give a differential for you that oh baka tuberculosis to, diba? Or it looks at the oral cavity and it sees like some growths and then it could be like possible list of differentials, it could be like this or like that. I feel like that would be pretty cool. So yeah, I hope I answered your question. From Pascal, Six Snake. Thank you, bro. Yeah, this is Gamora. She's only a year and a half, so she is going to get slightly bigger, but not by much. I'm trying to get her a little bit chunkier because she's looking like a little like skinny legend. I want her to look like parang ano parang lomi noodle. Uh, but yeah, from Sandra Daez, how do you manage your facial hair? Um, I mean, super not related to vet med, but I do put like coconut oil sometimes just to make sure it's like tame and I shave it every once in a while. But yeah. um, all right, so that's it for Instagram. Let's check out you guys on TikTok. Yeah. So just that last question from Jello and the Facebook peeps. Sorry, just managing all three. All right. Wow. Okay, dame. Okay. So shout out kay SGL. Oh, all right. Sorry. Wait, just need to verify this on TikTok. TikTok is so hassle, ah. It's like making me do so much stuff while I'm on live. Like, why can't I just be live, bro? Um, but yeah. Shout out kay Sis Kit, our SGL. What's up, Kit? Thank you for attending my live. Um, si Mikey and Nikki are making landian sa chat section ko. Di ko napapansin yun. Shout out naman kay Doc Mark. What's up, Doc Mark? Of Makati Dog and Cat. So anybody that lives in the Makati area and you happen to stumble upon Makati Dog and Cat, look for Doc Degolo. All right. A question from Javi Vilches, another good friend of mine who appears in a lot of my videos because he's a fellow animal nerd. Pwede ba cancelable yung tanong? No. No, hindi pwede. Another one from Tita Bambi. From your experience working with animals, have you come across animals that you thought can be queer? Is that even possible? What do you think? I actually addressed this earlier in the live. I think it's possible, but at this stage in of like technology and experience, it's kind of hard to diagnose an animal as queer. But I do think it's possible, especially for the really smart ones. Um, but yeah, I think majority of the time it's mostly animals asserting dominance, especially when it comes to dogs. Like when you see dogs, a male dog humping another dog, it's generally to assert dominance. I have two dogs right now, both female, and one of my female dogs always humps the other one, and that's because dogs are pack animals. So yeah, they try to assert their dominance because it's a very hierarchical system, if you know what I mean. Um, Shout out, brother, kay Allison John. Oh shit, why did it end? Weird. Oh, that's so weird. My Instagram just ended. Sorry na lang. I guess we're stuck in TikTok and Facebook. That's a bummer. Sorry to all my fans on Instagram, but I made call to action naman to find me in other places. But shout out kay Allison John. Shout out again kay Kit. Shout out kay Ron Alex. Um, Nikki has a valid question, thank God. Which part of vet school do you think you were least prepared for? Oh, good question. I think um, definitely had to be the sheer pace of everything. So I knew that it was gonna be hard. I knew that the information was gonna be absolutely ridiculous. Pero grabe talaga, like how you have like there's this one point where I had like 9 exams in like 6 days, something like that. I mean, like, dude, medyo intense. Like, relax. But I get why the pace needs to be a little bit intense because ang daming info talaga eh. And honestly, if you add like more point twos to the courses, you're just gonna be in vet school for like 10 years. So yeah, it's really the pace, just how everything kind of coincides with one another. It's not like you can just focus on this one subject for that particular day because there comes a time, especially in Hell Week, which is like towards the end of the sem na ang dami talagang exams and you really won't be able to study for all. So the pace is probably one thing. And oh yeah, the fact that like 1 week of like not doing anything, let's just say nagbakasyon ka or whatever, um, yeah, it's like grabe talaga yung yung pace. It's just like 1 week will set you back like yun nga, 1 week, but then since you're addressing backlogs also in the following week, that will create more backlogs, which will kind of just turn into a snowball effect, and you're just going to be dealing with backlogs until the end of the semester. So, not fun. But yeah, thank you for a valid question, Nikki. Okay, back on TikTok. There's some other questions. Gaano kahaba ang ahas mo, Doc? So Gamora is about Gamora is I think she's 4 feet, 4 feet, maybe like 4 point something. I mean, don't really. I haven't measured her actually in a while because you kind of need like two people. But yeah, she's about 4.5 feet. Alam ko hindi naman yan yung tanong mo pero hope I answered it na rin. Um, Another one from Collie. Is VetMed quota course in UPLB? Good question. Um, I actually am not 100% sure because I am a second degree student. So nag-UP Diliman muna ako for a certain for to take up sports science, and then I went in as a second degree. For second degrees, honestly, because you're paying tuition, I feel like they're a little. I mean, nowadays it's been a little bit harder to get in as a second degree student. Um, but I think it is a quota course to answer your question simply. I think that there are only an X amount of students that they accept each year, so you could be waitlisted, or you might get into a different course in UPLB, but not vet med, and then you'll have to work towards transferring. So yeah, hope I was able to answer your question, Coley. All right, another one from Siskit. How do you manage being pogi daw despite the stressful ACADS of vet med? Well, nasa bakasyon ako ngayon, so parang if I'm looking like a little glammed up right now, it's because I haven't been stressed from school as of late. Pero nah, I mean, it's just you should see me nung Hell Week. Grabe talaga. I mean, halos nung Sports Fest, Hell Week na rin yun. Medyo haggard yung dating. Wala, yun ah. All right. And yeah, I think I'm down to my last two questions. So last two questions unless you guys have any more questions. Again, sorry for the IG people na parang naputol sila for one reason or another. Um, but yun, last two questions. How do you deal? What's your favorite animal? So very light and chill question. Honestly, I can't even like nail it down to just one. Like there are just so many animals that I love. But ever since I was a kid, I love pandas, gray wolves, sharks. I do love the Philippine eagle, and I guess sailfin dragons are really cool. Hydrosaurus, one of my dream reptiles as well. We have them in the Philippines, and they're really cool because they can like walk on water. They're like the Jesus lizards. They're really, really amazing animals. Sorry, can't just give one, but have to give five. And last question, unless somebody asks another one. What's the most important advice you can give to new vet students to keep them going? All right, that's a pretty nice final question to leave it on. To just keep going, I guess my biggest advice would just, and it sounds so cliche, but like really remember why you started. So instead of making it so cliche, I'm just gonna like share like some of my like experiences and my takes on it. So, like I said, I can give the whole speech about growing up watching Steve Irwin and all of that, but I think my fascination with animals really started back when I was like 3 years old. But you see, my lolo before was actually like a hunter. So for better or for worse, he actually used to hunt some animals. So he had kudus in his living room, which are like large antelopes, and he even had like a leopard there as well. Very, very bad right now. Would not recommend it to any single person to go hunting leopards, but it was there, right? So it was a taxidermied leopard in his living room. And as an infant, basically, I was just, that's really where my fascination for animals started and my intrigue for wildlife specifically. And I always knew that I wanted to pursue a career working with animals. But as a boy living in Manila, syempre, wala akong masyadong experience with the different animals other than your dog and cat. So it kind of took a backseat as I focused on baseball. And long story short, I went through a lot of reflection. I was hesitant to go to vet med because I would have to start essentially from the start because it's 6 years. And I was scared na the money would be an issue because it's not, nobody becomes a vet to become rich. But here I am, about to enter my 5th year in vet school. It's really, 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 really hard. But again, I can't imagine myself doing any other thing. And it just helps so much to know that the industry is getting a lot better. It's getting a lot healthier, I would say. Pets are getting compensated better. People are more willing to spend for their pets. And like, I feel like I'm joining the wave at like the best time. And that kind of just confirms that this is really where I was meant to be. The fact that I'm still surviving after 5 years of ilang times nag-breakdown na ako, ilang times na napaisip ako na parang kaya ko ba to? Am I really smart enough for this? Is this really the right decision? Especially when all my batchmates like have long been graduated. They're making like maybe even up to 6 figures now. Tapos ako, ang sakit na nga ng isang yum burger. So yeah, I mean, I'm really happy where I am today, despite all of the challenges that it puts me through. Because back to when I look to why I decided to start this in the first place, and until today, 4 years later, I still feel the same way, and I'm generally enjoy what I'm going through, and it's only gonna get better. I mean, once you graduate, it's not gonna get easier. Don't get me wrong, but it's gonna get better. So I think that's about it. And I would just like to thank everybody for joining me tonight on this live Q&A. Sorry again to all of my Instagram um, viewers. I don't know why it actually just like bug. It said like your live has ended and it just ended. But hopefully I can fix that for you guys. And yeah, if you guys want to see more of my content, make sure to follow me on TikTok, where I'm still currently live on at roquebanzon. Instagram is also roquebanzon. I mean, if you're watching this on Facebook right now, I'm pretty sure you know where to find me. And above all else, my YouTube channel, please. I mean, I've been creating a lot of videos for you guys specifically about our world with animals, whether it be about a vet student, whether it be about your basic care, especially for your exotic pets, and even some travel here and there, trying to showcase to you how you can incorporate animals into your travels. And I think that's like one of the best things that I have learned, especially throughout the past couple of years, how I can surround my itineraries with animals, and it's just changed travel completely for myself. So yeah, make sure to follow me on YouTube at Roquesmodernlife, and that about does it. Thank you guys so much for checking out my live, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Deuces.